Welcome to Retirement Ramblings. I'm Scott, and today is day 47 on my countdown to retirement, plus a quick catch up for day 48 and 49. So, the last several days I've just been wiped. We're preparing for a global security review at work, and I've been tasked with consolidating all of the security items globally into a spreadsheet by region that can be then shared with the auditors and then work through the audit process. And so I've been working really long days trying to get that done. I did finish it finally about 2:30 on Friday, but I'm just exhausted from doing it. So that's why you haven't heard from me in a couple of days. That being said, on day 49, in my morning news feed, I saw that the U.S. penny, which was minted for the last time on Wednesday, November 12th. So for those of us who grew up collecting pennies, I think I have every one from when they first were minted, probably to the 70s with a couple of holes in between. Nothing uncirculated, whatever. Like when I was a kid, I used to sit there and go through rolls, go to the bank, bring them back, cull through the pennies, put them into little wrappers. Anyway, I understand that it costs more than a penny to make, so and they're a nuisance to a lot of people, but for people who grew up collecting them, it's kind of a sad moment. Anyway, then for lunch, I tried to make a Philly cheesesteak on a plate, and it was okay. Nothing to write home about. Then we had market pullback on Thursday, so I was able to get in on RTX Corporation, formerly Raytheon, as my first position for aerospace and defense. And then I also trimmed back one of my holdings in Charles Schwab and Company. And that was pretty much all I did on day 49. Then day 48, which was Friday, again worked all day and stopped to make a half-pound cheeseburger with bacon bits for lunch. And I checked in and found out that I had received quarterly dividends from Abbvie, which is a healthcare holding, and Enterprise Product Partners, which is a master limited partnership that transports oil, gas, north-south to Texas from the refineries and storage, and then some east-west transport. Pretty much them, in combination with Kinder Morgan, cover transport of all the oil and gas and liquid natural gas in the U.S. So they're like a toll road. So they're a pretty consistent player, and I bought them many, many years ago as a dividend play for when I retire, and that's exactly what I expect to have happen. They're a solid dividend payer. I don't remember the exact dividend rate right now, but it's somewhere around 7%. And when I originally purchased EPD, it was more like 13%. So as the stock has appreciated, obviously the dividend rates come down, but it's a pretty solid payer. It would be like a dividend aristocrat. I don't think they've missed a payment in more than 25 years. So anyway, got that, and then for dinner, I wanted to try something different. So I had seen on Steak and Butter Gal's program she made for her husband shredded beef taco, hard shell and soft shell, and she used cheese, as the shell. So I attempted to do what she said. So I used Swiss cheese and baked it in the oven on 400 for about 12 minutes, and then hung it over a utensil to kind of try and get to the shape of a normal taco shell. That didn't work all that great. And then I obviously heated up the shredded beef and put it in there, and then put a little bit of extra cheese on top. It was okay. I'd probably try it again, but use a different cheese. I don't think the Swiss was the right cheese to use. She had used mozzarella. I would probably use cheddar cheese or some kind of like cheddar Monterey blend or something if I did it again. So anyway, it came out okay. Then this morning when I was looking at my morning news feed, I saw an article that indicated that the average price of groceries now in the United States for a family of four is $1,030 a month. And I was thinking, wow, my family of two is at least that. I mean, I know we try to keep it, around 1,000, but, I'm going to say some months it's like 1,200. Like, I don't think it's ever less than $1,000, but if you're feeding four people on that, you're doing a good job. And then I did my weekly financial review, and we ended up for the week 0.49%, gaining back most of last week's loss. And now we're up 13.69% across our portfolio for the year. And then the stock market as a whole ended the week mixed. The Dow Jones Industrial Average finished up 0.3% at 47,147. The S&P 500 was up 0.1% at 6734. The Nasdaq was down 0.5% at 22,901. The Russell 2000 was down again this week 1.8% to 2,388. 6 of the 11 S&P 500 sectors were down for the week. The biggest loser for the week was consumer discretionary, down 2.7%, and the winner for the week was healthcare, up 3.9%, closely followed by energy, which was up 2.5%. WTI crude was up 0.6% for the week at $60.09 a barrel. Gold was also up for the week 2.1% to $4,094.20 per troy ounce. And natural gas was up again this week for the fourth week in a row that it's been up, and it's up 5.8% this week to $4.56.6. And then international markets ended the week up with the exception of China. The winner for the week was France, up 2.8% to 8,170, and China was the loser for the week, down 0.2% to 39.90. And then pretty much made a late breakfast of just some scrambled eggs and bacon. And because I just haven't been able to get enough sleep while I've been working on these projects at work, I was super tired, so I laid down at about 12:30 and caught about a nap for about an hour and a half, and then got up, made a Costco run so that we could pay our annual membership, which we did. And then while we were there, I also bought some half and half for my wife. I got some heavy whipping cream for myself, some more Manchego cheese, and some top sirloin. I had contemplated buying a vacuum sealed slab of New York strip, which they have on sale for $9.99 a pound, but the fat cap on the ones that I had to choose from just was way too thick, and I didn't want to pay $9.99 for the fat. I don't mind having fat on there, but not when it's more than an inch thick across the entire length of the vacuum sealed unit, which is probably a good 2 feet in size. So just wait. I didn't want to waste the money on the fat. And then for dinner, I ended up making ribs with my low carb dry rub, and for whatever reason, after about 3 ribs, I felt nauseous, and so I stopped eating. My wife, she's okay. She doesn't feel bad, but I just couldn't eat anymore. Even the smell started turning my stomach. Anyway, later I expect to check in with my mom, and I'll probably head to bed early again tonight, try to catch up on some sleep. Anyway, that's my update for today and for the last 2 days. So if you have any questions or any comments, please leave them in the comment section down below or drop me an email at myretirementramblings@gmail.com. Otherwise, hope you have a great evening, and until tomorrow, take care.